Yeah.
There's a reason why so many people accept veganism. It's because there's a lot of really good points. Because I saw a lot of those PETA videos where you see these horrific conditions in factory farms, and I didn't want to be a part of that.
Yeah,
and I was trying to figure out how to not be a part of that.
What's up, y'all? You are about to see Joe Rogan explain some of the reasons why people go vegan. You might be surprised to see how he has come to appreciate animals and decided to opt out of food industry revenue streams, specifically the meat industry. So what I'm going to do is play some clips of Joe Rogan speaking with Donnell Rollins, aka Ashy Larry from Chappelle's Show, about why people go vegan. And I'm going to make that point quite sharply. Then I'm going to show you some clips of Joe Rogan talking to Ted Nugent about how he made a conscious decision to withdraw his financial support of the meat industry, at least on a regular basis. Now, Joe Rogan is not a vegan activist. He's quite a pragmatic guy. So what I want you to do is hit that subscribe button, sit back, and check game. And what this is going to translate into is a discussion about what types of informed, conscious decisions we as adults can make given the choices that are available to us. Alright, y'all, no slaughterhouse footage necessary. This is why people go vegan.
If you told the average person, all right, you want chicken, and just show him like 6 hens alive, and it was like, you want chicken? There you go.
Yeah.
That motherfucking chicken would rot before a motherfucker was able to skin it and do whatever they do to it.
I'll have the baby back ribs, please.
Oh, the ribs, amazing.
But that's just how we're being raised. It's a denial issue. It's not a reality issue. Because the reality is we're still eating animals like crazy.
Follow me.
Good luck. We'll be after you.
The denial is no one's killing them. There's like a tiny.
So you got to get
percent.
somebody to do your dirty work.
Exactly. So because someone's doing your dirty work, you don't think it's dirty. But everybody.
This is the shit to get vegans caught out there.
Yeah.
This conversation will turn a motherfucker to a vegan.
A little bit.
Yeah.
There's a reason why so many people accept veganism. It's because there's a lot of really good points. Well, the biggest point is less animal cruelty. You don't want to see animals suffer. I don't want to see animals suffer.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't hear you were absolutely right, but I don't hear people push that side of it as much as the dietary habits of it.
Yeah.
You know, on my side, I hear like it's carrots and this, but you don't hear about, no, it's more about the animals.
You know what it really is? There's two things. It really is all about the animals for a lot of them. And they're really right that it's better than the standard American diet, that eating vegan food and healthy vegetable food all the time, as long as you do it correctly, is way better than the standard American diet. But it's also like fish is good for you. It just is. It's good for you. Piece of salmon's good for you. Wild salmon, that shit's really good for you. Tuna's good for you. It is good for you. This idea that it's not good for you is kind of crazy. Like, meat is good for you. The real problem is sugar and bullshit. And you guys got that sorted out with the vegan diet, and some people have it sorted out with another diet. The whole idea is to keep the poison out. That's all it is. They just get overzealous. And then when people have an idea of something that they're doing that they think everybody should do, then they start telling everybody they should do it. And
Yeah,
then you
then
don't
a
want to
couple
listen.
of people to tell it, and then they listen.
Wait, hold up, wait. It sounds like most people don't really want to kill animals. Food choices and food preferences are so often defined by convenience. Now, whenever someone says that any given food is healthy, the real question is, healthy compared to what? This context is so often lacking, and to his credit, in his remarks about fish being healthy and meat being healthy, Joe Rogan compares it to the real problem of sugar and bullshit.
Piece of salmon's good for you. Wild salmon, that shit's really good for you. Tuna's good for you. It is good for you. This idea that it's not good for you is kind of crazy. Like, meat is good for you. The real problem is sugar and bullshit. They just get overzealous.
I hate to say it, but he's right, y'all. Vegans do become overzealous about fish. After Raw Alignment cured brain cancer almost overnight by eating salmon, Mike the Vegan pointed out this Oceana study saying that 43% of salmon is mislabeled. But here's what he didn't tell you. You see, that was at a time of year when wild salmon were out of season. So all you have to do is purchase your salmon right at the peak of the commercial fishing season, depending on region, and then there's a much smaller chance you'll end up getting the world's most toxic food. This is one reason why people go vegan. You don't have to care about farmed salmon or mercury in tuna anymore. Going vegan just simplifies so many choices that you have to make on an everyday basis because you have a structure to your decision-making process when it comes to food. It eliminates a lot of that gray area. And now, allow me to become overzealous. More than 10 years ago, the Institute of Medicine declared that eating fish and shellfish is associated with overall lower risk of developing heart disease. However, it called this finding preliminary because they said it is not certain whether it's because eating the lean protein of seafood instead of fatty cuts of meat reduces consumers' intake of saturated fat and cholesterol, or because of the protective effects of omega-3 fatty acids, which are found in relatively high amounts in many fish species. But more recent research has shown that fish oil by itself is not powerful enough to reverse heart disease or even prevent secondary future cardiac events. So what's the deal with eating fish? This study provides a good overview of what's important for you to understand here. Just to paraphrase these correlations, people who ate fish tended to eat less total calories, less total fat, less saturated fat, less sodium, and more dietary fiber. Then, on the other hand, saturated fat consumption was correlated directly with total calorie intake, total fat and sodium intake, and less fiber intake. A similar finding in the case-controlled Cardio 2000 study from Greece shows that fish intake was inversely associated with red meat consumption, and there was a direct association between eating fish and eating vegetables, fruits, and beans. Alright, let's take a step back for a moment. Stay with me. When it comes to fish and heart disease, reviewing the literature shows results of prospective cohort studies addressing the question of whether higher levels of long-chain omega-3 fatty acids and/or fish consumption might decrease the risk of coronary heart disease are mixed and inconclusive. Data from randomized control trials are also inconclusive. People go vegan because food issues are typically not black or white, and some choices just make the most sense based on what options are available. You know that you don't want to support factory farming. So besides spending a small fortune every week on pastured grass-fed meat and wild salmon, what other options are on the table?
Because I saw a lot of those PETA videos where you see these horrific conditions in factory farms, and I didn't want to be a part of that.
Yeah,
and I was trying to
irresponsible,
figure out how to not be a part of that.
And so when I first decided to start hunting, but before that I was making two decisions. I was either I'm going to do this and I'm going to hate it and I'm never going to do it again and I'm going to be a vegetarian, or I'm going to become a hunter. And the moment I shot that deer and then we ate it, I was like, oh, I'm doing this forever.
Look, y'all, I get it. I grew up in a rural area and I've been around hunting for a long time. Hunting requires a significant investment of time and resources. It's a lifestyle. For me personally, spraying myself with deer piss and sitting in the woods for a few hours waiting for an opportunity to shoot and gut a deer and skin it wasn't my idea of what I wanted to do with my spare time. But that's okay. In the case of Joe Rogan, he recognized that he didn't want to invest money or spend money in a way that was going to support the meat industry. But here's the thing. You go out to eat and order a steak, you're right back in that gray area where now you're asking the guy at the restaurant, like, was this grass-fed? Was it pastured? Was it humanely slaughtered? I don't really know, but I still eat meat, so I'm just going to keep doing my thing. Got to eat some food at this restaurant. You're back in that gray area where your decision-making process doesn't have clear definitions. You're doing the best you can. You're trying to eat that wild pastured meat and the animals that you hunt, but then you're back in the real world and you have to function like an adult again, and all of a sudden, there you are. So as a society now, we are more open to the spectrum of simulated experiences. So we see people who aren't living the lifestyle of a hunter, and they just want to kill an animal for themselves. Like that's good enough. That's primal enough. That'll bring them close enough to the connection of what they eat.
Zuckerberg actually came out and admitted that if he's going to eat flesh, he's going to kill it himself.
Well, he did it for a whole year.
Yeah.
Everything he ate, he killed.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that people would have a better understanding of what their food is. And
Wow, y'all. It is fascinating that they bring up this obscure story from 8 years ago where the CEO of Facebook announced that he was going to personally slaughter by his own hand the animals he ate for a whole year. This one-year challenge Mark Zuckerberg undertook entails a level of meal preparation and restrictive eating that is only conceivable to a class of disconnected financial and intellectual elite. The irony falls in the tragedy of how we now see the clueless, confused, unwashed masses attempting to emulate the elite that they so openly profess to defy. Don't be surprised when, in the next few years, we see a niche economy spring up around creating similar killing experiences, as people struggle to become congruent with their food choices, but resist going vegan and become more accepting of the spectrum of simulated experiences.
And when you have these conversations with people, when it comes to animal rights ideas and what should and shouldn't be legal, 97% of the people eat meat. I mean, it's a crazy number.
It's our life support system. It's protein.
Yeah.
It's food.
Like it or not, y'all, Joe Rogan has become a gatekeeper on topics like diet and health. As the discussion nears the topic of animal rights, he quickly takes it in a different direction and discourages a vegan diet with a little bit of cautionary reverse psychology.
People that think you're just going to stop that, listen, you're going to get a lot of people that aren't healthy. This is not the way to go. And if some people want to go vegan and they can pull it off with careful studying of their diet and making sure they're supplementing with all the right things, good luck.
Yep.
Go for it.
Well, you know, you
Have at it.
ask
Yeah, so how's eating meat working for the vast majority of people, Are 75% of adult males overweight or obese in America? It's almost like you would have to carefully study your diet and understand your protein sources and where your food is coming from. Carefully managing your nutrients, and taking supplements, maybe even promoting and selling supplements. Joe? What do you want to say about that? Now, many of y'all are aware of the health benefits of a whole foods plant-based vegan diet, but the general public is still heavily influenced by media-derived food preferences and expectations of cultural norms. Extensive efforts are being made to install resistance to veganism with sound bites like these and a variety of media campaigns. Some of these efforts are directed at making vegans look bad with biased reporting, and other efforts are being directed at financing social media influencers whose primary message is that eating meat is healthy and good for cardiovascular health. People go vegan because it is one of the best choices given the options that are available to normal people. Unless you consistently live a lifestyle centered around your direct involvement in the raising, care, and slaughter of animals firsthand, or you get up at dawn to spend hours in the woods hunting before work, then you are outsourcing a whole host of health and ethical issues into the hands of others. Going vegan removes a lot of the gray area between factory farming and that magical mystery meat that allegedly reverses heart disease. Hit that subscribe button and you can eat a healthy vegan diet without spending your whole paycheck. Look, y'all, there's a film coming out called The Game Changers, where they have scientifically proven that men get stronger erections eating vegan versus eating that magical grass-fed meat.
Blood flow to the penis, but when people have a bad diet, that's when they need the Viagra, right, Doc?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's absolutely true.
They just get overzealous. It is good for you. This idea that it's not good for you is kind of crazy. Like, meat is good for you. The real problem is sugar and bullshit.
If we were eating right, we wouldn't need to be selling Cialis and all this, that Viagra and stuff like that.
And you're 77, you don't need it, right?
No.
So you can support factory farming, but you probably don't want to do that. Or you can kill your own goat. Or you can spend hours in the woods covered in deer piss. Or you can eat rice and beans and pasta and oatmeal and fruit and vegetables and have stronger erections and not die of a heart attack. Now, I'm going to send y'all over to the Game Changers playlist because I know a bunch of y'all haven't seen these videos yet, so go ahead and click the thumbnail that pops up right now. Y'all know what time it is. Red Pill Vegan. Next.